All right. So many times it's not wishful thinking. I just wish that the whole earth could be under the sound of my voice, not because I want to be a minister to the whole earth or all, but because I feel that there is a message that the whole world needs to hear that would bring them into realizing that a lot of things that we've been taught and we've grown up, a lot of notions are not right, and that it will just help us to help us rest, rest in His love, rest in His grace. You know, I was asking in the former video, not this ones, not the ones that did not have a sound, and I was asking, when light comes, does the darkness need to do anything, to make the light powerful? You know, when truth comes, does the light need to do anything to make the truth powerful? When you tell me that God, there is peace, and I have to accept the peace, I have to declare and confess the peace to have the peace. I mean, come on. Darkness doesn't need to confess that light prevails over darkness, truth prevails over lies. All right, the peace of God prevails over our notion of enmity with God. And the, what the gospel does is just to let this peace prevail. As we speak the peace, as we send forth peace, as we declare peace, all right, man eases into the peace, man sinks into the peace because there already exists this peace. It already exists. It's not something that we need to, it doesn't need subscription, it doesn't need popularity votes to make it powerful. It doesn't. All right, there already exists peace between God and man. God is at peace with man. All right, man is unaware about this peace. As we tell him, there is a knowledge gap that is filled, and he begins to relate with the peace. That's what you need to do. You should stop preaching reaction. I mean, I go to a Liverpool fan and I shout, Arsenal, all right, won the match 2-0. And I'm an Arsenal fan and I say, Arsenal won 2-0. And he's unperturbed and not bothered. And I'm like, no, that's not how to react. You need to shout, yay. Won't he look at me as, but many times we think that because it's spirituality and it's Christianity, we need to take leave of our senses. No. As a preacher, you need to work. I'm not saying I've become so great a preacher. I wish to know more. I wish to be able to talk more, explain more to multiple people, different backgrounds, and be able to help them see, and it takes a lot of wisdom, it takes a lot of training, it takes a lot. All right, I can't just, it takes a lot. Let me just be honest with you, because I've spoken to people and I've made some people that were anti begin to, just calm down. I've not maybe completely won them over, but you calm down and they know that, okay, this guy understands, and I see reason with this guy. Maybe not enough to become a Jesus freak, but then he understands something, and I need to learn from what he understands. I've been able to get that response, But then many preachers are just lazy, and you think people just should just take leave of their senses because they're listening to you. I believe, and I tell people, God is rational. He's the highest form of rationality that exists. He's logical. He's the highest form of logic that exists. He is, and there's a reason why he gave us our brains. He gave us our brains for a reason, and it's so that we can reason out things. So I believe that the way you should use your senses and your brains the most is in church, when the word is being preached. There's no need taking leave of it just to. And I say that because many times when you hear people say things that they say, especially preachers, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Yet, people just swallow it hook, line, and sinker. And many times the way God is painted, you won't do what you say God is doing to your child. If you are a father, and maybe it's just because many of them are just they have children but they are not fathers. Because if you're a father, many things you say that God does you would not do unless you are better than him. And if you are better than him, why are you serving and why are you worshiping him? Why would you serve a God that you are better than? Why would you worship a God that you're better than? And it may seem blasphemous, but then, I mean, if he is God, then he should be better than you. 20, as in such that I admire, you get, there has to be an admiration. There has to be you get this awesomeness about him. An awesomeness. I mean, if there's nothing special about him, why worship him? Why serve him? Why adore him? All right, there has to be that adoration, that admiration. If not, he's not God. All right. So many times we don't think, you know, things we claim that God would leave us for are things that we would not leave our children for, because we understand that they are children. And if we are his children, he's been on this planet for years, and I'm 29. 29 is not even a drop in an ocean where we talk about 6,000, 8,000 before the beginning. So I'm a child, and if my 89, 90, 150 years on this earth is going to be a problem for you that you cannot tolerate, I mean, how much of a father are you? If you think that 150 years is too much to make lots of mistakes for, I mean, you're not, that's not being rational. You get someone, so many. So if like you compare to your child, you see your child puking, and you are getting angry, you're getting frustrated over child. Like, come on, you are not being rational. You're not being logical, because he's a child. A child does those things. So that's how we are when we are in the presence of our Father, the Ancient of Days. So he should be more tolerant than we would be to our kids. But many times we don't think. We don't think, because if we did, we would not believe some things we do believe about God. All right. And I'm saying that so I might say that as a preacher, you need to earn the right to be listened to. You need to earn the right. The gospel needs to earn the right to be believed. All right. The heart has to believe. And the heart cannot believe what it doesn't find to be credible. You can't trick the heart. You can't. The heart wants what it wants. The heart of man is looking for validation, looking for satisfaction. You can't get that from a God you are telling it to pretend to believe so that it can get back in his good graces. I mean, that heart knows that that God is not trustworthy and is not going to believe that God. All right, it's only in the presence of unconditional love that that heart can believe. So if you're not preaching the gospel, you're just deceiving yourself, and you're deceiving your congregation, because they would never believe you. And I tell people that's why a lot of people hold God and they hold other means, because they can't trust this God. I mean, you can't a God you're telling me I need to do something to become in his. It means if I did the opposite, I would be out of his camp. I can't trust him. I can't trust him. And if I can't trust him, what's the point? All right, so we deceive ourselves a lot. All right, we deceive ourselves a lot. That's why I tell people you can't teach a heart that has already seen something. All right, a heart that has seen, that has understood, is going to be believed. Why? Because the gospel needs to earn that right. It needs to earn that place of credibility for the heart to believe it. And when you are tricking men, I tell you are a trickster. If you tell a man he has to believe a message that you have preached for it to be true to him, you are a trickster. And that heart is not going to believe you. He can say he believes you, but he's never going to believe you, because you are a trickster and the heart knows the truth. So preach the gospel. Stop preaching the response to the gospel. Don't preach the response to the gospel. Tell men what they should believe, and tell them what they should believe alone, and leave them to believe or not believe. The effort should always be on the preacher. Preach what men should believe. Preach the gospel. If you've not preached the gospel, nobody's going to believe you. And you are a trickster. It's harsh, but it's true. See you in the next video.